Are you exhausted by diabetes? Tired of testing, of tracking, and worrying every single day? Diabetes burnout is very real, but you don't have to stay stuck. I'm here to show you how to break free, recharge your energy, and finally feel hopeful again. If you're burned out by managing diabetes, you're not alone. You have a lot of company. This happens more often than people realize. It isn't commonly talked about. And in fact, the consequences can be really serious. So let's get into it. I've helped thousands of people who have diabetes, and burnout is something that I see regularly. Today, you'll learn practical ways to break free for good. Burnout is not a sign of failure. I'm going to say that again. Burnout is not a sign of failure. No, not at all. It's a call for better support and strategies. So let's tackle it together. Now, diabetes burnout involves emotional exhaustion, frustration, anxiety, and frankly, demotivation about dealing with the realities of diabetes and managing it. The symptoms can include feeling overwhelmed, ignoring blood sugar monitoring and the need for it, skipping medications or skipping doctor appointments, sometimes all of those things, right? Along with emotional withdrawal, just feeling overwhelmed and like, shoot, this is just too much. Feeling like, what's the point? I'm here to normalize and to validate your experiences or that of someone that you care about to help reduce shame, stigma, and any sense of this is just too much to deal with. All right, so let's detail some common burnout triggers. Why does it happen? There's the need for or perception of constant vigilance and decision fatigue, very real decision fatigue from daily diabetes management. The framework that I use of the Yates protocol, which consists of 5 steps specific to lifestyle and is all natural. This is a framework that I use with patients and clients in our programs. The framework includes nutrition, meal timing, stress, sleep, and then the twins of exercise and strength training with an emphasis on strength training. These 5 together of the Yates protocol make the difference for really getting a handle on fasting blood sugar morning numbers, along with A1C, fasting insulin, improving insulin sensitivity, and reducing insulin resistance. Taken together, these are the things that people will look at, like what will I eat, right? That's the nutrition step. When will I eat? That's the meal timing step. How much will I eat, which is portion size. And frankly, that belongs under both umbrellas for nutrition and meal timing. Am I feeling stressed? The emotional realm is so important, especially when it comes to blood sugar regulation. And for good glycemic control, being aware of what you find stressful and how you deal with it is really important so that you can stay healthy. Do you feel anxious? Are you feeling depressed, low energy, exhausted, fatigued? These all make a big difference. Did you get enough sleep? Sleep is huge when it comes to blood sugar management and isn't talked about enough. Similarly, did you sleep well enough? Was it good quality sleep? This makes a difference so that your blood sugar can hit the reset button when you're asleep overnight because you're fasting in that state. You're not eating, you're not drinking anything. So when you go to sleep, your blood sugar should reset to a healthy range. If that's not happening for you, that's really important to know. And then when we look at the 5th step, will I exercise today? Exercise and strength training. What will you do for exercise, right? This is the 5th step. How long will you exercise? How intense will it be? And did you give yourself enough time to recover from exercise, especially if it's intense exercise, whether it's aerobic exercise or it's strength training? These are important things to keep in mind, especially if you are an older person, whether you are a woman or a man. And then, look, let's get real here. One of the things I hear most commonly from the people I work with is the issues around the lack of visible improvements despite effort, despite focus, despite effective management, effective consideration of what's going to work for you, right? It's normal, totally human, frankly, to feel discouraged. Now, here's a big one: overly restrictive or perfectionist diabetes routines. Watch out. Watch out. This is such a problem. Sometimes people are expecting to do everything a certain way, and when it doesn't turn out that way, they just get so discouraged, right? That's why I emphasize throughout the work I do with people here on this channel the whole concept of progress, not perfection. Write it down, make a sticky page out of it, whatever you have to do, right? Notes on your phone. Remind yourself, progress, not perfection. We're going to talk about that more later in this video. Another aspect of burnout is feeling unsupported or misunderstood by family, friends, or healthcare providers. Sometimes these people can also be a source of sabotage, people who are close to you. Sometimes you yourself might be the source of the sabotage too, and we have to be honest about that. That can all be part of the diabetes burnout. And additionally, understanding triggers helps you stop blaming yourself and empowers you to seek effective solutions. Now, let's look at 4 powerful strategies to overcome burnout. These are practical and realistic and things that you can do for yourself. There's no magic needed here, just an awareness of what might be effective. So now I want to provide some clear, practical solutions to help you to quickly and hopefully immediately relieve feelings of burnout. My first strategy to share with you is to simplify your diabetes routine. That's right, simplify the routine. Focus on the essentials. Simplify your tracking methods using tools like continuous glucose monitors or easier routines, right? But keep it simple. Don't make it so complex that you can't keep track and you wind up resenting it. It's just overwhelming. The benefit of this is that it reduces the daily mental load and frustration. Keeps things simple and you can focus on what works best for you. What works well for one person might not be the best idea for another person, and it's important that we acknowledge that. There isn't a one-size-fits-all prescription here that's going to be universally applicable to everyone, regardless of life circumstances or other details. Within the framework of the Yates protocol, for most people, it's 2 or 3 of the 5 steps that I outlined of nutrition, meal timing, stress, sleep, exercise with strength training that are going to make the most difference, and these are sustainable and all natural approaches. All right, so now let's dig deeper to simplify your diabetes routine. I hope this gives you some ideas and inspiration. Feel free to take notes here if that's helpful to you. Number one is to use technology. Let it be your friend. So if you're using continuous glucose monitors, CGMs, you can use automated reminders that come with these particular technology devices, right? These med tech to reduce your mental effort. Usually they come with apps and you can use it. So if you are wearing or using a CGM, it can be helpful. Similarly, if you have a glucose monitor that you're using and you're using that with test strips or drop of blood, find a way to take advantage of technology to help support you. Number 2 here in this category is to choose simpler meal planning. And I'm going to emphasize meal planning. I've noticed that a lot of people with diabetes sometimes don't plan their food, and that's part of the stress. Sometimes it makes it challenging to make those healthier choices, especially if you're out and about a lot and you're not at home, where you have far more control over what is exactly in your food. Going out can be quite a Pandora's box sometimes. So you want to focus on easy, healthy meals that are simple and nourishing to minimize complex prep and carb counting stress. Go to meals that you know will work for your blood sugar control and make those repeatable. Make sure you have those ingredients on hand at home so you can easily prepare. Or make it portable to go out of the house if you're not going to be at home. The next one in that section, in this first strategy, is to streamline your daily testing. If you're using a glucometer and test strips, a little bit of blood, establish consistent strategic times rather than frequent random checks. Be strategic, be consistent so you can really see what's going on with your blood sugar. Another concept in this first strategy is to limit diabetes related decision making. Make some of this stuff automated. It's just your go-to, it's your habit. So create easy routines. Maybe you have some of the same meals regularly on the same days. Simplify your weekly schedules. Get in a rhythm with it so it just is automatic and you know what you're going to do, and you know that these are food combinations, beverages, etc., that are kind to you, that aren't going to destroy your good work. And then another one in this section around this first strategy is to delegate tasks wherever you can. If someone else can do this, or you could set it up on automatic, and lately with online ordering, sometimes we can, via subscriptions, do this. You can order supplies on an automatic basis. That might be really helpful for you. So you don't have to keep remembering, oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh, I'm running low. Or I'm getting ready to travel and I need to order in advance. Similarly for scheduling appointments, you might want to get that set up too on an automatic basis. And you can ask family members or friends to help you or use automated online systems. In today's world, there are a lot of ways to automate these things, and I encourage you to make use of that. Okay, second strategy, number 2 here. Get emotional and social support. I cannot emphasize this enough. Please get emotional and social support. Critical. I encourage you, seek out support groups, diabetes communities, and professional counseling or coaching. There are things that are available online. There are in-person options, and there are hybrid options of both online and in-person. Whatever will work for you, that's the one to do, okay? Please, don't sit there all alone with this. It's not fair to you. The benefit of this is that it reduces feelings of isolation. It increases your motivation and emotional relief. We as human beings are social creatures. Whether we are extroverted or introverted, we're still social creatures. It's important to connect with others and to know you aren't the only one dealing with this, despite how common diabetes is. We have an increasing incidence of type 1 diabetes, an increasing incidence of type 2 diabetes, of prediabetes, type 1.5 diabetes, and what we consider to be type 3 diabetes internationally, known more so in the US as Alzheimer's and dementia. People feel isolated and alone who have these diagnoses, yet they've got really an amazing amount of company. This is not good for your overall health. I encourage you to break free from this and to find other people, find groups, and stay in our community here on this channel and other platforms and engage here to help connect with others going through similar things. You are not alone. Now, let's dig deeper into this strategy. You join these diabetes support groups or online communities to share your experiences, feel understood, and gain new perspectives. Sometimes it is such a win to hear someone else's point of view, to see them, to listen, and to recognize, oh, yeah, hey, that resonates with me, or oh, wow, I hadn't thought about that, or oh my goodness, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Whatever your response might be, it's valid, right? We're human. Your feelings are valid. Another is to work with a counselor or a diabetes focused health coach, work with a dietitian and nutritionist, work with a nurse, work with a doctor, work with a therapist. Join us in one of our programs, however you do it. But get this professional guidance and emotional support. It's so important to not feel alone and to understand how many other people are dealing with the same or something really different than your experience. This perspective can be invaluable in helping us to have that mental health and resilience that we want to have and that people say we should have, but how are you going to have it if you don't have help, right? Another concept here is to schedule regular check-ins with supportive family and friends, people who care about you, specifically about your diabetes experience, and make sure they can actually hear you and listen with you. They don't necessarily have to agree with everything, but it's good if they will just listen respectfully because people have different experiences. We aren't all one size fits all kind of folks, you know? Another is to attend diabetes education events, webinars, or workshops to increase your knowledge, to boost confidence, and to meet peers. Clearly communicate your feelings to your healthcare provider, your doctors, nurses, other people that you interact with, pharmacists, whomever. They need to know how you're feeling about things. That feedback helps them to better understand you and to do a better job in general. This ensures that your emotional needs are fully acknowledged. All right, in fact, let me hear from you in the comments. What does diabetes burnout feel like for you? What works to help you overcome diabetes burnout? Please share with us below in the comments. Kindly give this video a like, share it with others, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so this channel grows and can reach others who can benefit from this information and point of view. Thank you for your help. All right, let's look at this next one. Strategy number 3, celebrate small wins and progress. Celebrate them, yes. Here's why that's so important, truly important. It's of critical importance, in fact, to take a moment and acknowledge yourself, your commitment, and your small wins and progress. When you stack these together, one with the other, they add up into tangible progress towards your health goals. You get a hit of dopamine, a natural excitement in your brain that propels you forward to even more in the way of healthy choices and behaviors. Shift from perfectionism to realistic, progress-focused goals. The benefit of this is immediate increase in motivation and sense of accomplishment. You can feel good about yourself and want to continue to make progress. This is important. You train your brain to feel good about the progress you're making rather than stewing and feeling terrible about all the things that are not going well or that you are worried about. We have to find a way to balance that so our mental health stays in a good place. Remember, this is all about progress, not perfection. Now let's dig deeper into this strategy. Keep a daily or a weekly diabetes wins journal. That's right, a wins journal to track progress and celebrate your small victories. And by all means, if you have a big victory, document that too, of course, right? Set realistic, achievable short-term goals. I'm going to emphasize realistic, okay? Reinforcing feelings of continuous progress and accomplishment. Another is to reward yourself regularly for consistent effort. For example, self-care activities, non-food treats, enjoyable experiences. Maybe you spend a little more time in the garden. Maybe you have a garden you have access to nearby that has wonderful fresh flowers growing or fresh herbs, whether they are cooking herbs or medicinal herbs, that because those have such a strong scent, a strong smell, and can be very enjoyable. Maybe you really enjoy coffee or tea. Maybe you go to a local coffee shop or a tea shop and just smell the odors and scents in the store. There's lots of ways to reward yourself that don't involve eating perhaps high calorie, unhealthy, ultra processed, ultra refined food, right? There's many ways to have a celebration that won't be disrespectful of your blood sugar needs, okay? Another idea here is to recognize and validate non-number based improvements. So instead of focusing constantly on just your A1C or just your fasting morning blood sugar numbers, your glucose control, you could look at, hey, my sleep's been improving. Wow, I got more sleep than I've normally been getting. I've gotten a deeper quality of sleep, like I'm more commonly waking up feeling fabulous, fresh, and rested, right? That's good. Maybe you have increased energy. You're noticing that you're able to get more of the things done that you're intending during the time of day you plan to be active. Or you might notice there's more emotional resilience. Maybe you've gotten some unfortunate news and you notice it didn't sink you like it used to, you know? So reward, recognize, validate these kinds of improvements. It's about more than just numbers, right? This is why diabetes can have such a burnout factor to it in terms of just paying attention. Then another idea here is to practice positive self-talk daily, reframing any setbacks that you encounter as normal and celebrating your resilience and your dedication. So if that critic, that mean voice comes in and it just wants to beat you up, push back and tell it, nope, I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. Or I made a commitment to do better and I am doing better. Here's all the ways in which I've made improvements. Or, you know what, that was an overwhelming moment. And in that moment, I made some mistakes and now I'm going to clean it up. Do whatever you can to practice positive reality-based self-talk daily. I think we all know when that interior little voice, that mean voice gets going, and we have to find a way to put it in its place. All right, so the fourth strategy to share with you is to take intentional diabetes breaks. And let me explain what I mean from that. Plan brief periods of structured, safe mental breaks from intense diabetes management. The benefits of this is it can refresh your motivation. It reduces resentment. Many people who have diabetes resent the hell out of the fact they have the disease. That's a real concern. And it also maintains long-term commitment to management. We're human. We need to always acknowledge that. So let's dig deeper into this particular strategy. Plan these regular short breaks. Maybe it's a half of a day or it's a weekend from intense diabetes tracking while maintaining safe essentials for your good blood sugar glycemic control. Choose relaxing activities that reduce diabetes stress, such as hobbies that you enjoy, walks out in nature, mindfulness practices, prayer, gentle yoga. There's many ways to go about this, but notice what's relaxing for you. Clearly communicate with your family or healthcare providers when you plan a diabetes break to maintain safety and support. Make sure others know that you're just taking a chill moment and they can be part of the team that helps preserve your peace. Yes, preserve your peace. Self-care is not selfish, friends. Another is to adjust expectations temporarily. So allow slightly looser control briefly to reduce stress and mental fatigue. Sometimes it's good to tell the people in your life, hey, I just need to dial this back for a little bit. If you're the kind of person for whom the idea of the word no is a complete sentence, I'm going to encourage you to lean into that. Just say no. Don't prop it up. Don't give people 38,000 reasons why you had to say no. Just say no. Put some boundaries up. It's been my observation that a lot of people with diabetes tend to be the cornerstone of rock in their community. They are extended, sometimes overextended, and they're doing a lot of things for a lot of people. And they're pouring into others. Yet others may not be pouring into them. It may not be reciprocal. So I encourage you, with the other people who are in your life, let them know when you will be doing less. They may not be happy about it, and that's okay. You're not responsible for their feelings at all. But you need to do what you need to do to take care of you. All right? You're worth that. And then our next idea in this category for strategy is schedule consistent rest periods. Emphasis here on consistent. It's one of the things sometimes with blood sugar control issues that I've noticed people struggle with being consistent, usually about something in those five elements of the Yates protocol, whether it's nutrition, meal timing, stress, sleep, exercise with its twin strength training. Those are all things to consider. So as we schedule these consistent rest periods, maybe these are monthly breaks, maybe they're weekly breaks. Could be a daily break, like it's a half-hour break, whatever makes sense for you, ensuring long-term sustainability. And this helps to prevent burnout recurrence. We always want to emphasize things that are consistent, that are sustainable, and that are doable. It's about progress, not perfection. All right, so let's acknowledge that addressing burnout directly improves diabetes outcomes. Practical supportive strategies provide immediate relief and long-term resilience. Diabetes burnout is not a personal failure. I'm going to say that part again. Diabetes burnout is not a personal failure. It's a normal reaction to sustained emotional and physical stress. For example, if it happens that when you go to the doctor, your blood sugar numbers, that morning fasting glucose number is not where you want it to be, or maybe you get your lab tests back and you find out your A1C is not where you want it to be, don't plunge into despair. That's not going to be a helpful response. Instead, assess what worked and what didn't work, and focus on what works for you. There's no such thing as one size fits all approaches here. And if you're feeling lost, if you're finding that this just isn't making sense, you're confused, you're overwhelmed, you're welcome to work with me in one of our programs designed to support you in improving your health or your blood sugar levels, your A1C, your fasting insulin levels, improving insulin sensitivity and decreasing insulin resistance, and reversing type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes where possible. All right, so let's do a recap about diabetes burnout. Your feelings are valid. Here is a summary of actionable strategies that you can use right away. One is to simplify management. Two, seek emotional support. Three, celebrate progress consistently. Four, schedule intentional breaks from overly strict, perhaps possibly punishing routines. I encourage you to discuss burnout openly with healthcare providers, family, and your support networks. All right, let me hear from you in the comments. Have you ever experienced diabetes burnout? Please share your experiences below. What helped you most, or what are you struggling with right now? Let's support each other. If this resonates with you, hit subscribe. I'm here regularly to help you feel hopeful and in control of diabetes again. Kindly give this video a like, share it with others, subscribe to the channel, please, and turn your notifications on so this channel can grow and reach others who can benefit from this information and point of view. And that way you'll know when the next video appears. Thank you for your help. All right, so here's a real example for this. I had a patient who's faced severe burnout. She felt paralyzed by daily management demands. By simplifying her routine and joining a support group, learning to say no, she regained energy, motivation, and hope. Her health improved dramatically, and she rediscovered her joy in her daily life. Her ability to let the word no be a complete sentence, this was transformative for her. In fact, it was a keystone moment, a foundation for her blood sugar healing journey. It's my observation that people who have diabetes are often the center, the soul, the rock of their community and families, and that they are the ones that others count on. In doing so, boundaries may have melted and crumbled under the relentless tide of other people's neediness, misplaced expectations, and selfishness. So while recovering from diabetes burnout, remember, self-care is not selfish. Keep in mind, this healing journey is about progress, not perfection. If you want to work with us in one of our programs, look in the channel description for this video and for this channel for ways to reach us via email or go to the website or click the link to apply. Please be good to yourself. Okay, friends, what are your thoughts? Is this information new to you? It would be great to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like the video, share it, turn your notifications on, and subscribe to the channel. This way you can help me grow this channel and reach others with this information. Thanks so much.